welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom, everyone. Despite technology issues, we're going to try and get this interview up and off the ground. But I have Miss Bulach with me today, and Miss Bulach is going to shed some light on something that is my biggest nemesis in the teaching field. It's every teacher's big nemesis because states have required testing, and what we do as educators is not fun. We prepare the kids for a week and then do all that jazz. So Miss Bulach is the expert on this. So hopefully Miss Bulach will give me some insight along with you guys as to why kids are going so low on these state tests. So I'm going to let Miss Bulach take it away.
Well, I appreciate being on your show. I love the title of your show, Butterflies of Wisdom. I hope I've got some wisdom to share with your listeners and moms out there who are sending their kids to school every day. I've jumped through all the hoops: teacher, principal, superintendent, college professor, researcher, book writer, author, and 2 new books are on Amazon.com. This fall, you can get on there, put my name in, and they should come up. Now, why did I write these books? Okay, I have one distinction that very few people other people have. I got a contract to evaluate every school district in the state of West Virginia in 2002. Based on that experience, I have written the books. What I found was when I went into these schools, my favorite question was, what do you like about your schools and what don't you like about them? And that's all detailed in the book. But what I found is that about half the kids and half the teachers don't like going to school. They don't like their school. When I asked them, why do you go to school? They said, well, it's the law. You mean if you didn't have to go, you wouldn't go? No, I don't like school. Well, what do you like about school? And it's recess or going home. And some said, the teacher. And I said, what don't you like about school? And they said, the teacher. All of that's described in the book, and if you want me to post on that sometime, I can do that. But based on that, all those interviews, I decided I would write a book where kids would like to go to school and where teachers did not quit in years 3 through 5 and where they liked to go to school. And the administration was well-liked. And that's why I wrote the books. But I also found out in interviewing, I identified 6 reasons why test scores are low, because in every school, that was the focus, to improve test scores. They need to focus on what causes low test scores and not the test scores themselves. And here are the 6. I'm going to just tick them off, and then I'll come back and explain each one. Number 1, poor school culture and climate. Number 2, the amount of time spent disciplining kids. Number 3, the needs of kids and teachers are not being met. Number 4, the way power is used to control kids and teachers is a turnoff. Number 5, parents are not involved in middle and high school grades. Number 6, levels of openness and trust in most schools are low. And I can take that one first, openness and trust. Are you married?
No, I'm not. But
okay. You're in a relationship of some kind?
I am not, but I want to be.
Okay. Well, if you have a friend and you can't trust them, you aren't open with them, how is that relationship going to flourish? It won't, will it?
No, it won't.
And in a marriage, if the spouses don't trust each other and aren't open with each other, that's not much of a marriage. Well, in school systems, after school systems, and I have the data on this because when I went into these schools, I measured culture and climate in these schools. Levels of openness and trust are always the 2 lowest scores. So if teachers aren't open with each other and with the administration and don't trust the administration and each other, how is that system going to function? And it doesn't function. And I also ask the kids, they don't trust their teacher. A lot of kids don't trust their teacher. When I ask them, what do you like about your teacher? Well, some of the teachers care about us, and they'll talk to us, and we can trust them. And then we've got these other ones. All they're worried about is their paycheck and their retirement. They don't care about us. They don't even care if we learn. They get up there and say, look, guys, I'm here to teach. If you're here to learn, we're going to get along just fine. If you don't want to learn, that's your problem. They don't care about us. So levels of openness and trust is one of the biggest problems in our schools. And the two books I've written, I'm not trying to sell those. I'm trying to sell the idea that openness and trust is important. Okay, and then we get back to the biggest one. Openness and trust is critical, but school culture and climate is low.
The host has joined the conference.
The school culture and climate is low in almost every school. Out of all of the schools I evaluated in West Virginia and in Georgia and other states in the United States, I would say roughly 10% of the schools have a good school climate. 50% are okay. About 20% to 10% are toxic. Nobody wants to go to those schools. Well, what causes school culture and climate? Levels of openness and trust is a big factor. If you don't trust your teammates and the administration, you don't have a good culture and climate. But one of the biggest factors to contribute to low scores on school culture and climate is discipline. And you walk into the average classroom and you see a teacher who's having trouble controlling student misbehavior in classroom after classroom throughout the school. And I've seen that. That school has a poor culture and climate. And when you walk into a school and the teacher has the kids in the palm of their hand and they love their teacher and their class, that is a good school culture and climate. Now, what causes that? Here's the cause of discipline problems in our schools. I call it the existing culture of control. When a student acts out, who's responsible for stopping the student, changing the misbehavior? You've been a teacher, right, Wynn?
Yes, for 11 years. Hint.
When a kid acted out in your classroom, what did the other kids do?
They set off and it drove me nuts because and I'm going to make sure this is recorded, so I'm going to have you repeat what you just said, and I'm going to repeat what I just said because, quite frankly, I think this conversation needs to be open and honest with you. So I'm just going to hit the recording button one more time to make sure everything is recorded.
Okay, where do you want me to start?
I would like you to start where it cut me off at bad school culture.
Okay. And I said one of the big factors is levels of openness and trust. When teachers